Two Chairs No Waiting special. I left out Randy Turner. Two Chairs No Waiting special edition for episode number 426. Bonus. Folks, I'm Alan Newsom, your host for Two Chairs No Waiting. I left off This Week in Mayberry History off of the podcast this week. I can't have that because Randy does an amazing job. Thanks for the folks in the chat room for reminding me that I'd done that. So this is an amendment to episode number 426 that is This Week in Mayberry History with our good friend Randy Turner, who takes a lot of time getting all this together, and I am not going to mess that up. So here we go, folks. Hope you're going to enjoy this. A great intro here for Randy Turner.
Welcome to This Week in Mayberry History, a report by special correspondent Randy Turner of the Gomer and Cooper Pyle Comic Book Literary Guild of the Mayberry Historical Society.
Denver Pyle was born on May the 11th, 1920. To Mayberry fans, Denver will always be fondly remembered as Briscoe Darling, the mountain man patriarch of the Darling family. Denver only appeared in 6 episodes, a fact that often surprises the more casual fan of the Andy Griffith Show. Because of the distinctiveness and strong, immediate, memorable impression created by characters like the Darlings, Ernest T. Bass, the Fun Girls, and Malcolm Merriweather, people often think they appeared much more than they really did. Denver had a long career of both character and featured acting roles in hundreds of films and television series. One of his most memorable film roles was as Texas Ranger Frank Hamer, who was the hostage of the title characters in 1967's Bonnie and Clyde. In the film, Bonnie forced the ranger to pose with her in a picture, at which point he spit in her face. Denver had worked with another of the actors in Bonnie and Clyde before the film. In the movie, Michael J. Pollard, our own cousin Virgil, was the dim-witted C.W. Moss, part of their crime gang. C.W.'s father, who helped Ranger Hamer to set up the ambush that resulted in the gangsters' deaths, was played by Dub Taylor, who 4 years earlier performed the second wedding of Briscoe's daughter Charlene. Denver is, of course, best remembered to most as Uncle Jesse in The Dukes of Hazzard. Dukes was based on the 1975 film Moonrunners, where the character of Uncle Jesse had been played by Arthur Honeycutt, Mayberry's Mr. Wakefield, whose family feuded with the Carters. Denver also performed the role in the 1983 animated version of the show, called The Dukes, and in a reunion movie broadcast in 1997, the same year Denver passed away. It was his last role. Denver received his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame just 2 weeks before his death from cancer. There are more interesting, odd facts known by few than we can cover in this report, but a few quick ones are that Denver's brother, Willis Pyle, was an animator who worked for Disney on Pinocchio, Fantasia, and Bambi, and who later worked for the Walter Lantz Animation Studio. Ernie Pyle was a cousin of Denver's. Edward R. Murrow on radio and Ernie Pyle in print are considered the 2 greatest World War II American war correspondents. Murrow is better remembered today as he survived the war and went on to do early television journalism. Ernie, who made it a point to actually stay with the GIs, was killed during the war and was one of the few civilians to receive the Purple Heart. Of particular interest to Mayberry fans is the fact that Gomer was given the last name of Pyle as a nod to Denver. And Denver was the only adult male to be seen without a shirt in the black and white episodes, when he was being cleaned up in a wash tub at his cabin while courting Aunt Bee. That's it for this week. As always, thanks for listening, and remember to take Andy's advice and go out there and act like somebody.
All right. So as I always tell you guys, if you enjoy these, you want to head over to turnersgrade@gmail.com. Send an email to that, and you'll get a daily dose of Mayberry history directly from Randy Turner. So I want to thank Randy for taking the time to put these together. I'm sorry I got so busy during my parts of the show. I actually slipped my mind that I didn't do this. Thanks to the chat room for reminding me. Hope you enjoyed this little bonus, and thanks again to Randy. Folks, until next week, we'll see you right back here on Two Chairs No Waiting, your Mayberry podcast. Have a great week. See you then. Thanks, Randy.